morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. Looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Sunday, the 27th of December. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar and the hourly candlesticks, bullish start to the morning. Going to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot level, sitting at 25,875 to take a run at the first major resistance level that sits at 27,261. Going to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from this morning's high that is sitting at 26,903. Plenty of resistance at 27,000. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 27,500 to limit any upside on the day. In the event of a breakout, Bitcoin will be eyeing 28,000 levels before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 28,109. A fall through the pivot at 25,875 would bring the first major support level sitting at 25,027 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should steer clear of sub 25,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 23,641. Looking at the MACD, got a slight narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing suggestive of a bearish move following yesterday's bullish cross. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 pull away from the 100 and the 200, suggestive of further upside on the day ahead. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid the pivot, break out from the morning high 26,903 to then bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's also a bullish start to the morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 634.81 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 654.41. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break back through to 650 levels. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 660 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level sitting at 672.29. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 616.93 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 600s. Second major support level sits at 597.83. Looking at the MACDs, we had a bearish cross this morning, but we're not seeing a widening of the bearish histograms, so need to keep an eye on that through the morning. On the EMAs, however, we are seeing the 50 pull away from the 100 and the 200 supporting this early morning upside. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot at 634.81, break back through to 650s to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels will come into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, particularly bullish start to the day here. Going to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 129.8 to support a continued run at the first major resistance level, sitting at 134.76. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to continue on this run and break out from the morning high 134.57. So barring an extended rally through the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 135, yesterday's high, to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, got resistance at 150 that would likely come into play. Second major resistance level sits at 139.96. A fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 124.60 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should stay clear of sub 120. Second major support level sits at 119.64. Looking at the MACD, we've got a narrowing of the bearish histograms after yesterday's bearish cross, supporting the early upside. We're also seeing the 50 EMA pull away from the 100 and the 200, supporting upside this morning. So key through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through the pivot at 129.8, break out from the morning high 134.57 to then bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that and support levels are in play. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, bullish start to the morning here. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP move through the pivot at 0.3017 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 3211. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.3 levels. So barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and Saturday's high 0.3285 to cap any upside on the day. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 0.2750 into play. Barring an extended sell-off through the day, Ripple's XRP should avoid sub 0.25 levels. Second major support level at 0.2536 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, slight narrowing of the bearish histograms, but there's nothing conclusive there, with the MACD having pinched through most of yesterday and early this morning. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 100 and the 200 narrow on the 50, suggested of some upside through the morning. So keep through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 0.3017 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and Ripple's XRP could be in for another reversal.